Okay, in this session what we're going to look at is creating a simple IK chain. IK, inverse kinematics, is a way of moving an object based on the end of the chain of the object. So for example, what I've got here is just a simple bone structure, just inside a leg, which is a common use for IK. And to get this leg into any position, what we currently need to do with FK is use rotation and start rotating switch back to left. Start rotating these bones into the correct position to get exactly the pose that we want. Now this isn't always the most efficient way to work with structures such as this, because if we have something like the leg moving up and down, because an FK chain, a forward kinematics chain, is each bone is its position or rotation is determined by the bone before it in the chain. What we have to do, let's look at this for example. If I was just to go over here, select this hip controller, I've just created a basic one just with a normal child-parent control. And if we move this up and down, you can see the entire leg chain is moving with it. Now if we're going to create a walk cycle out of this, if we had this in a certain position, let's just say move this down. Let's start rotating the leg. So it's in the right position for the walk. Turn this bit up. Something like that. If we then come to do the next step, where we may actually take this up, and really mess about trying to get this leg into the right position for the walk. What would be better to do is have this foot planted, and then when we move this bone up and down, the foot will always stay planted, and the chain will develop itself accordingly. And we can do that with IK. Let's just see if we can do all of this. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to hide this mesh for a second. Just see the bones. So with an IK chain, we've got to have bones connected first of all. If two bones aren't connected, then it won't allow you to create an IK chain. So it's going to have some kind of hierarchy within there. And we could have at least two bones spanning an IK chain. It can't just work from one bone. So something like a leg scenario, what we need to do is create an IK chain from the hip down to the ankle, down here. So the ankle areas, this is where I'm looking at the pivot point of this, is really the important area. So where we do that is click on the root of this, go to animation, IK solvers. I'm going to use an HI solver. I'm going to go down and click on the ankle bone, and what that's done is made what's called an end effector, or this is an IK chain, and this is now the control object for this set of bones. So now by moving this around, so I no longer have to rotate these bones individually, I can just move this IK chain, and we can get the position that we want just by using this. And this has also solved the problem with the hips. So if I now move the hips up and down, you can see it's no longer affecting the position of this foot. This foot is staying planted. It is rotating at the minute, but it is actually staying planted on the ground. Okay. And that's the basics of an IK chain.